It's round 12 in NPL Victoria, and a rather chilly evening here at JL Murphy Reserve to kick things off this weekend in the top flight of Victorian football. It is round 12 between the Port Melbourne Sharks and Green Gully. My name's Adam Sarikoglu, and I'm joined by Greg Blake for the first time, mind you. I've never called a game with Blakey before. Blakey, we're talking off air. It's one of the more chillier nights we've had, I think, in the season so far, but luckily no rain, so we should get a dry deck for 90 minutes.
Yeah, good on you, Adam. Good to work with you on this Friday night. It's the Sharkies hosting Green Gully. I reckon this is going to be an absolute beauty tonight. And you're right, it is very, very cold. But staving off the hypothermia and the chills and everything else, I reckon we're in for a really, really good game tonight. And I'll tell you why. These two clubs, they're sort of on that periphery of the top six. And it looks as if the gap is opening up, but there's going to be carnage. Carnage, I tell you, Adam, in the top six in the next few weeks, because all the top six clubs are playing each other in, it's almost a mini round-robin final series. So some are going to survive and some are going to get brought back to the field. So for these two clubs tonight, for Port, for the Sharkies and for Green Gully, they've got everything to play for.
And you factor in as well the fact that next week Port Melbourne takes on Dandenong City, currently 14th on the table, while Dandenong Thunder is the opponent, 10th on the table for Green Gully next week. You can get 3 points here tonight, go in as favourite next week and take advantage of the fact that the top six are all sort of taking points off each other. So this makes this particular fixture very, very important. We'll have a quick look at starting lineups before we, or perhaps just as kickoff gets underway. It'll be Green Gully attacking the right of screen.
Tell you what too, Adam, Green Gully last few weeks, they've been like the evil Knievel's of the competition. They played out a thriller against the Melbourne Knights. They conceded some late goals last week. Right now they are a side on the edge, and Green Gully get the start. They're heading to the right of screen down towards the city end of Shark Park.
And the ball has already gone out of bounds to be retrieved by Christian Bombachi. So we'll go with starting lineups very quickly. It's Andrew Withers in goal for Port Melbourne, Wellsmore, Reardon, Eager, the captain, Edwards, Duggan, Amachi, Malls, Courtney, Perkins, Bombachi, Ross, Archibald, just starting 11. For Port Melbourne, as Green Gully now look to set up an attack through Matthew Crooks. Their starting lineup, Gerard Tyson in goal, and then Hall, Crooks, Davies, Salmon, T-Boy Kamara, Mamadi Kamara, Sean Timmins, Luke Jego, and the captain, Jeremy Walker. Your starting 11s for these two sides this evening, Blakey.
Oh, the vicissitudes of a long season. It's going to be a free kick. And it's going to go the way of Green Gully. Yeah, they've lived on the edge in the last few weeks, Green Gully, but they've done enough to give themselves a good look at the top six. When the Speedway starts, the top six Speedway in the next few weeks, it's going to be a really interesting time. The NPL in Victoria, which is, by the way, Adam, you would know very well, the best Premier League in the country. By a mile, it's been a ripping season. Port on the attack. Green Gully accomplished. Walker tried to stab it away. It takes a cannon. It's going to be a Green Gully ball deep back left at the bay end. You wouldn't want to be down there going for a swim this time of night on a Friday night. It's freezing and it's going to get colder. We may have to hug later on, Adam. Just keep ourselves warm, just for survival. Early going in this one, 2 minutes away, no score. And Port on the move. As mentioned, that's a good left footer. And that just went whizzing wide of the post. That was the big fella Amachi. It was. Should have known by that shock of peroxided hair. I hope it's peroxide. Oh dear, last time you telling me before, and last time you saw the Sharkies, of course, they were belting St Albans down here. Last time I saw them, they were here against Avondale in a thriller as well. They're a good side on their night. I love the colours, strong. Blue and red, horizontal. Twice champions of Victoria. Green Gully 9 times. How about that, eh? Header on by Amachi. That's an easy take for Jared Tyson, who had some work to do last week against Eastern Lions. Gully warming up. Change of direction at midfield. Crooks back for Hall. And he'll swing it across the body back to his goalkeeper, Jared Tyson, who belts it long into the night sky. Ooh, defensive coverage. That was awkward then by Reardon. So cough it up. And a bit of crash and bash early on. Got to let him play. Nothing in it, was there? Look at you. You agree with me or just being... Thank you, I appreciate it. So Port Melbourne, of course, coming off that 1-1 result at Altona Magic last weekend. So that keeps them in the chase too. It's probably down to 3 clubs or 4 clubs outside the top 6 at the moment. Still got a chance. That was really good. Archie Ball, that long ball. Jordan Hall puts it in the air, chasing onto it. It's Duggan, the top scorer for the Sharkies this year. He's bodied off the football. Good footy. And Green Gully come up with it. Give it away inside their own half, though. Archibald is swamped. Kamara, that's Seaboy. He's a beauty. He was a ripper last weekend. Ambitious ball for Kamara the second. Down that left lane. That's my mark. Oh, he's going to rifle one, a right foot. I'm freezing, by the way, Adam. I hope this warms up really quickly. My fingers are not functioning. Matthew Crooks just corrals the footy, runs to receive. Crooks runs deep toward the line, drags it back, right foot, a hot spot, angled header, ball in dispute, and that wasn't far away. The header, that was for Marty Kamara, I think. Geez, those two blokes are good. We've played 4.5, Adam, and we're scoreless at Shark Park on this Friday night.
And it has been a lively start. There were a couple of minor chances at both ends as well. And Kamara, particularly Mamadi, proving an early threat. Don't see Green Gully in their white kit too often either, Blakey. They're wearing it this evening. Normally only reserved for when they play against the Bentley Greens. Right now it's Omar Amarchi, who's been busy early. Tried to go back to Wellsmore, but Green Gully concede the throw. Mel's getting involved for Port Melbourne on this very chilly evening. Another touch for Mamadi Kamara. Davies. No one there as the ball was moved forward eventually for Green Gully. An easy retrieval for Aaron Reardon. There you go, always stern in defence for Port Melbourne. Gets another touch here. Chris Duggan, an important inclusion now, and he's been met heavily. Referee says play on. Luke Jago to referee Jack Gordon this evening. Still a chance here for Port Melbourne. Bombashi sending the ball wide. The ball in gets cleared away. All the way back now to the captain once more, Michael Leaguer. So things just settling down a little bit now. A bit of a lively start. As I mentioned, a couple of at least half chances at both ends where the back of the net was not found. Shots not on target. Keeper's not challenged too much here as Tyson now. Trying to set up a new attack. There's a turnover, maybe a chance here. Courtney Perkins tried to go the hero ball. You saw one of those last week, Blakey. On this occasion, it still remains 0-0.
I like that, the hero ball. Well, it was pretty spectacular. The goal last week that you were talking about, of course. From Eastern Lions. Green Gully on the move. Oh, that's a great ball round the corner for the long striding Fletcher. He got a goal. He got 2 actually last week. Matthew Fletcher came off the bench, so he's earned his starting spot. Port come up with the footy. Mills tries to work it down that right sideline. Oh, gee, I tell you what, his legs taken out from under him did Mamadi Kamara, so he'll draw the free kick for Green Gully toward the city end. Fair way out from the red zone. We played 7.5, no score. Yellow card to the skipper. There you go. Well done. You're really good, Adam. I like you a lot. He's good. It's Friday night action from the Shark Tank on this round 12 opening. There's a couple of games tonight. The other one, I think, at Bentley Greens from memory tonight against the Melbourne Knights. So Green Gully will bring it in from that angled left-hand side. Davies will get responsibility. Right foot scooper right into the red zone. Headed clear, desperation stuff. Port come clear, or do they? Took a cannon. Sharks are going to come up with it down this left sideline in front of the coaches' boxes. Launched long by Mells. Good anticipation by Kamara. Salmon will just takes a whack loose, and in the end it's Walker, the skipper. He was magnificent. He was imperious last weekend, was Walker. Still a 0-0 game. Well done by Fletcher. He angled his way out of trouble. Kamara, stop and go, tries it again. Defender did well to stay with him. It was a foot race. The Sharks won it. And they'll try and conjure it from half field. Round the corner, ball was good by Duggan. Just a little too long, and it runs away to Jared Tyson. So it's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment between the Sharkies and Green Gully. No score, 9 minutes played. Both of them showed little sparks so far. Port, the team, really, the emphasis on them tonight. A win is essential for them because they're a couple of points behind Green Gully. And the Sharks on the move. Edwards goes inboard. And the ball takes a cannon. That's off the edge of the 6-yard box in the end by Chris Duggan, who's the top scorer. Sharks come again, pressure again. Good stuff. Dance steps, Edwards to the top of the box. They're finding a bit of the footy, but took 1 foot in, and Fletcher stabs it outside for Walker, who barrels away toward midfield. Kamara, they've got the two of them out there tonight. So 10 minutes in, no score. Davies traverses the half line, strides purposefully, knocks it into the path of Crooks. Patient by Gully. Over the head of Marty Kamara, or T-Boy Kamara that was. And Sharks will be foiled by Walker again. He's such a good skipper. Jay Davies, back spinner, 9-9, top of the box. Sharks away again. So both sides holding ground on this rather frigid Friday night, as the thankfully the breeze off the bay, which is usually a little bit stronger than this one tonight, is staying away. I'll come and prise my frozen hands off the commentary tower at the end of the game, Adam.
Well, so far so good. And so far so good for Port Melbourne as well, doing more of the attacking. Amachi dispossessed on this occasion. Danger not quite averted yet completely. Archibald getting involved again. Edwards gets it back here. Now Archibald again. It's going to be an easy collect though for Gerard Tyson. 11.5 minutes in. First game of round 12 in NPL Victoria for season 2021. 8th v 9th on the table coming in. T-Boy Kamara finding plenty of space on this right side. It was a relatively neat ball in. Eager is going to clear this away in the air. Gets a little bit of help from Edwards. He was off to the races there, Kamara. Not a great ball from Jordan Hall. Chris Duggan still involved in the contest. The referee says there was illegal contact and a free kick going against Chris Duggan here. 5 goals for the season. This is Matthew Crooks for Green Gully. Another ball intended for T-Boy Kamara, and it's a neat one. Has Aaron Reardon for company. Tried to play in Matthew Crooks. It didn't quite work out that way, though. Withers clearing away for Port Melbourne. Only gets as far as Fletcher. Now Davies. Fletcher sending it over to the far side. Timmins. Kamara. This time Mamadi Kamara, and the referee says that is going to be a goal kick. Could have been a corner maybe, but ref says that's your ball, Andrew Withers.
Caught me on the hop. I'm just trying to copy off your notes because your notes are better than mine, Adam. Chief and Blakey. That's all right. I'm comfortable with that. Port going to ease it away. Deep back left. All right, knocked high and long by Sharks. They're in here. I'll tell you what, they are well in here. Goalkeeper stretched for it. Good stuff in the end. Foot in. I'm not sure who by it was. Marchie was the man in, but that was great stuff by the Gully defence to keep their head while Marchie was about to do some serious damage. And I didn't pick up the player. Hopefully, no, we don't have a replay, but good stuff. Heart and mouth stuff. It's round 12. Action here at the Shark Park on a Friday night down by the bay. Yeah, that should get you warmed up a little bit, Adam. That was good stuff. Port ball sideline in front of the commentary area. Sharks are obviously well up for it. Measured by Reardon. Eager, the skipper, outside. Still working it toward midfield. He was sensational last week for Green Gully, the big number 13, Sean Timmins. He put on quite the show. But right now, Port is showing a little bit. Marchie, he drives toward the line, and the left foot rifle was just winging its way over the line of sight of Jared Tyson, but he picked it up even in the lights here at Port Melbourne. It's 14, nearly 15 away, no score, but it's starting to wind up now. Don't worry about that. It's going to be a beauty. Round 12 action. Mamadi Kamara. Drag and roll. He wasn't fooling anybody. Davies runs a 90-degree turn, goes nowhere. Kamara, a right foot, and it just balloons into the car park, and that's sitting into the ground. But I'll tell you what, Adam, I'm starting to enjoy it. The game is winding up to something. I reckon it's going to be a beauty.
Almost a frustrated shot there by Mamadi Kamara. Out for a goal kick. That ball ended up somewhere on Plummer Street, I think. So, Withers heard a voice, but the ball was way too short. T-Boy Kamara coming in again, and he wastes one over the crossbar. And if you're Stephen Downs, you're probably hoping for a better result when it opens up like that for you, and a wasted ball over the crossbar in the end for T-Boy Kamara. You all right, Blakey? Things are just warming up nicely here.
Green Gully, in fact, we mentioned last week on the call when they beat Eastern Lions, that's their first win at home. They've done all their damage on the road this year. 3 of their 4 wins away from home, so they know how to overcome the travails of a road trip, Adam.
Have got 2 home games coming up after this. Against Dandenong Thunder Friday night next week, and then a local derby against the St Albans Saints. Their next 2 home fixtures, Green Gully. Another wasteful ball from Sean Timmins, giving it away. And the ball to be reclaimed by Bombachi. Longer ball intended. Marshy just tried to flick it on toward Wellsmore. It doesn't work out, though, for Port Melbourne. Majority of the crowd on that outer side. Seeing it go out of play, and Wellsmore will take the throw. Longer one down the line. They've done well to work this out. Marshy again tried to maybe bite off more than he could chew there. Never had a real look at it in the end. And here's the counter-attack. It's T-Boy Kamara once more. The speed and the burst. Bumped off after he passed off. Still a chance here. Crooks came out, and the left foot ball. It did force a dive from Withers. A nice ball for Matthew Fletcher. What we have got for the first time this evening is a corner.
It's well picked up, Adam. Very impressed with you. Good. So Green Gully, and so are Port, but Gully right now just starting to rev the engines. It's going to be a corner of that city end of the ground in front of the illuminated scoreboard on this Friday night round 12 NPL action here in Victoria, and it's cutthroat stuff for 2 sides who are still well in the running for the big dance at the end of the year. Davies with the corner. He'll come in. Right foot. Short run. 4 steps. Goes very, very deep. The big leap at the top of the 6-yard area. Crooks tries to draw it in. Instead, it spills away for the Sharks. Walker cuts it off. As he does, he reads the play beautifully. And it's still scoreless. 18 minutes played. Huge weekend, a huge month of football in the NPL here in Victoria. We're full of anticipation going forward. So Mills starts the move. It ends with Bombachi. He stabs it straight up Route 1. Amachi. Sharks at both times, at various times, both teams have shown a little bit of confidence. They've looked pretty sharp. 20 played on this Friday night. I'm losing my voice already. It's unforgivable. So Gully with the throw on that far side. I remember, Adam, believe it or not, when they used to play finals down here, and this joint to be rocking, you get 4,000 or 5,000 here to Shark Park, seriously. Fletcher tried to run it down. It was too long for him. He stretched the hammy for about a second and then gave it away. Can you believe that? 4,000 or 5,000 people? Trust me. I'm a senior citizen. I know these things. Oh, dear. Sharks football. They'll just work it across the back, or will they? Long and high. Amachi. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what's really starting to interest me is this battle between Walker and Amachi. Amachi has got some pace about him, and Walker's a good reader of the play. Oh, Kamara nearly with the steal. Gully still. Who's that on the footy? Oh, yes, Jago. Sorry, my apologies. Crooks. Davies draws it onto his left. Crooks, nowhere to go. Just no option. He spins it for Jago again. Kind of wriggles, undecided. Jago launches himself adjacent to the penalty area line. That was good stuff, Crooks. And heads up footy though from the Sharks. As Duggan powers away over half field. It'll be counter punch from the Sharks. Oops. No, you won't want to see that one again. Don't put that in the highlights reel. It's 21 minutes away, Adam. We've got no score Friday night at Shark Park. Port and Green Gully.
Yeah, Adam Pittick not too happy getting up off his seat. After that wasteful effort, here's Amachi coming up the field a lot more. Got tangled up with Alex Salmon. And the referee said that was all okay. Now he does blow the whistle. The free kick's going to go Jeremy Walker's way. Only the one booking in this game so far, and that's the skipper for Port Melbourne, Michael Eager. Here's the skipper for Green Gully to take this free kick. 21 and a half minutes in. Almost at that halfway stage of the first half. Waiting for our first goal of the evening. It can take a while sometimes in these Port Melbourne games, but they often end with a bit of drama. 1-1 draw last week against Altona Magic with Kuol, who was on the bench this evening, equalising in the 71st minute. Of course, late drama in your game last week, Blakey, that you saw between Green Gully and Eastern Lions, with 2 late goals from Eastern Lions, just making things interesting late. Green Gully holding on for the 3 points in the end.
I'm just going to give you a quick stat. 78 last 10 minutes. I'll just go again. There's been 78 goals in the last 15 minutes of games this year in 77 games. So it's won a game. Guaranteed. Bank on it.
Yeah, there's been a few of them right here at JL Murphy Reserve as well. So Green Gully ball on that outer side. And it's Hall who tried to play in Sean Timmins. It goes out for a Green Gully throw. Now Kamara. It's Mamadi. Losing it was Salmon. Courtney Perkins, second to that ball on that occasion for Port Melbourne. Jeremy Walker on that last line of defence for Green Gully. Wants to bring things over toward this broadcast side of the pitch. At least momentarily, but they stick to the outer side for the time being, Green Gully. So it's a Kamara on each side at the moment, doing most of the damage, although this time Mamadi couldn't come through. T-Boy's waiting on this right side. Green Gully not interested though. They're locked in to that far side of the pitch for the time being on that left wing. The bouncing ball, one back by Green Gully. Now Davies at halfway. Finally, the space used on this side. It's Crooks. Has some space to advance. Now T-Boy Kamara. Almost tried to nutmeg Daniel Edwards. Did find a way through his legs. Ball came back out. Now Davies. Green Gully set up once more. From the back of the formation, Walker tried to play in Fletcher. He was manned. Walker's going to try and chase this down, perhaps retreat back to the keeper. He does. It's Gerard Tyson now. No flow at the moment for Green Gully. The back four doing its job for Adam Pittick and the Port Melbourne Sharks. Here's Walker again. Saw something he liked on the outer side. It was Mamadi Kamara. But it's taken out of play by Christian Bombachi. Luke Jego. Courtney Perkins for company. Mamadi Kamara. Now Jay Davies. Fletcher. Did go for a goal earlier that ended up in a corner after forcing the dive from Andrew Withers. Still a Green Gully ball here. T-Boy Kamara. He'll do well to keep this ball in play. Does. The slip there from Daniel Edwards helped things out a bit as well, but ultimately it goes out for a goal kick. So a good couple of minutes for Green Gully finally finding their way through. But what they didn't do, Blakey, was test the keeper. And it stays 0-0 at JL Murphy Reserve after 25.5 minutes.
I'm tipping that somebody somewhere has managed to just grab the intensity dial, because it's just been turned up a little bit in the last couple of moments as Timmins spins out of trouble. Crooks on the deck. Kamara. He's well held then, was Kamara. He has another look at it though, and this time he centres up. Fletcher. Timmins. The big fellow. Salmon. Kamara. Left foot. Flag went up. Won't count. Didn't matter. Good stuff though from Green Gully. They're just tightening the thumb screws a little bit. In a scoreless game on this Friday night under lights. I love this venue. I really do. You get the scent of the ocean. That beautiful robust scent of fishing boats and trawlers and all sorts of stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's lovely down here though, particularly when it's a little less cold. As Andrew Withers launches it into the night sky at Shark Park, glancing header on, and it'll spin straight in the hands of his opposite number, Jared Tyson, and off we go again. Crooks just takes the brakes off a little bit, forgets about the footy though, and Courtney Perkins. Oh, that could be ugly for Port Melbourne. 0. It could have been ugly all round. No, you're quite right. It was salmon, and you would have expected him to put away. But Courtney Perkins, that's another one you won't want in the highlight reel. Good stuff, Adam. Thank you for that. And Sharks will manoeuvre it clear. So there's been a couple of moments in this one. Courtney Perkins, that's a little bit better from him. Sharks got to recalibrate, take out the micrometer and work it forward in a scoreless game. More important, as I mentioned earlier on, for the Sharks, this one, I reckon. Running a wide arc, the ball takes a lucky bounce and then an unlucky bounce, and it's forced back by Hall to his goalkeeper at the bay end of the ground in the lime green. Jared Tyson, 27-28, and we've still got the arm wrestle at Shark Park. Seen plenty of footy and going nowhere right now. Reardon back to his goalkeeper. I would not take money out of your wallet, Adam, and back anyone at this point. 6 of one, half a dozen the other. 2 number 6s go for it. The win in the end was Crooks, who just angled it back for his goalkeeper, launched high into the sky. Big leap by Fletcher at the front of the pack. Sharks, maybe something here. Edwards with the cross into the danger zone. Fletcher went to ground, no free kick, never looked like it. Walker did well to get the foot in. They'll launch again. Now that's Port Melbourne making the attacking move. Duggan, well, it went right across the face of goal, and that's a run on for Kamara. It's Mamadi. Change of possession at midfield. The pace has quickened as Port Melbourne go forward. Oh, this is on. This is on for the Sharks. They go ahead, and it's Courtney Perkins who nearly coughed one up at the other end, and now he rifles it home on 29, and Port Melbourne are up by 1. Well, it's been punch and counter-punch, but now Port Melbourne have signalled their intent, and Courtney Perkins, who almost stuffed it up a couple of minutes ago, Adam, he's made good with a dividend at the other end.
It's his 3rd goal of the season. Port Melbourne take the lead here. He's another one that can be so threatening in that attacking half. Saw Omar Amashi having impact early. Courtney Perkins, he's been good all over the field really so far. Gets himself onto the score sheet for the 3rd time this season, and Port Melbourne take the lead at JL Murphy Reserve. What's the response now for Green Gully? Right now it's Matthew Crooks. T-Boy Kamara almost wrestled to the ground there by Daniel Edwards. And that will be a free kick. Going Green Gully's way. Crooks wants to take it quickly, it would seem. Jay Davies now coming across. He'll send the longer ball in. Nope. He'll go lateral for the time being. Comes back to Walker. Jordan Hall. Lobs one high. Lands just outside the area. Mel's had to deal with it and did. Amashi now in the foot race against Jordan Hall. He gets tackled to the ground, and that's more than just a free kick. I'm wondering if there is a card involved here. It will be a free kick for Port Melbourne. They'll get a look at a set piece. The yellow card will be coming out for Jordan Hall. And for a moment there, I thought we're watching Aussie rules there, Blakey. And there was also one here, not too long ago. Not as severe as that one. That was just a flat tackle.
I would have let it go, but anyway. I don't know. They're big boys, aren't they?
So a free kick here to be taken by George Mells. Both number 4s now find themselves on a yellow card as well. Can Port Melbourne double their lead here? It's a somewhat dangerous ball in, but easy enough to deal with for Gerard Tyson in the end. Out to the goal scorer, Courtney Perkins for Port Melbourne. Forced to retreat all the way back to Withers. You've got to think back to that chance that Alex Salmon had when he cut that ball off. Almost did have a one-on-one situation with Withers and unable to convert. Green Gully have had a couple of those little chances, Blakey, that have gone begging. But when you look at the scoreboard, they're the one to have naught next to their name at the 32-minute mark of this first half. Can they make amends now? Mamadi Kamara might have taken a deflection on the way and didn't quite find its way to Davies. The danger not averted yet for Green Gully. Fletcher tried to get a little touch his way. It didn't quite work out for him. Ball is kept in here. Walker's ball. Maybe a chance here for Fletcher. Inside the area. Cannot get past Withers in the end. So we have seen a bit of a response here from Green Gully. It stays 0-0 for the time being. Sorry, 1-0 I should say. Just completely forgot that we'd seen a goal moments ago by Courtney Perkins there, Blakey.
That's the hypothermia starting to set in. I told you.
Perhaps, yeah. Another high ball by Tyson, and as the ball is in the air, the referee blows the whistle. There's a free kick coming back here for Green Gully. Bit of wind now just starting to pick up as well through our commentary area. Has been a relatively still night to this point. As I said before kickoff, we're not expecting rain this evening. The pitch is in near perfect condition here. Probably the best I've seen J.L. Murphy Reserve in a little while. So conditions-wise, albeit cold, are ideal. As Green Gully now look to attack, see if they can find an equaliser. They were leading from the fronts. A bit of verbal there, by the way, between Archibald and Jego. And it was a bit on the colourful side there, Blakey. It might have come through our effects mics, I'm not sure. All the way back to Withers here. Port Melbourne can start again.
Oh, mate, you're in Port Melbourne. They've heard this sort of language for hundreds of years. Walker turns it across the body. Left foot to midfield. And he's threatened a little bit. Trying to hold my notes. My hands don't work anymore, Adam. Oh, it's a Green Gully ball, sideline, in front of the old social club over there. Get a bit good tucker over there too. 34 played, 34 and a half. It's 1-0. The Sharks lead it. Courtney Perkins, the only goal of the game, on 29. Round 12 action. Two sides desperately clinging to their top six hopes. Gully ball, looking for the equaliser. Davies will leave it for his skipper, Walker. As I mentioned, we were talking about that before, and there's some huge clashes to come. All the top six teams in the next few weeks play clash at some point, as Port looking to maybe get a second. The outside runner is Duggan, and no, the flag was up. Didn't matter. Davies looks up. Saunders clear. Crooks. Good pressure. The two number sixes again going at it. Crooks goes back to his goalkeeper. It was a difficult one for Tyson. He had to sort of dolly it down with the inside of his foot. Fletcher scored twice off the bench last week. Had his chance earlier in this one too. Amachi, he's... it was a professional foul. He got a great big hand of the old fabric on Amachi's shirt, didn't he, the defender? And it's going to be a Green Gully ball. They're looking to work their way back into this one. 9 minutes from the break. It's been a really good game, this one, round 12. Might have been a goal or two more, but the one that gives Port right now, they move to 16 points on the live ladder, equal with Hume. At the edge of the top six, bouncing ball. Oh, Davies was almost, he was loping, he was lurking. But it just skidded past him into the fence at that Plummer Street end. That was identified well by you, Adam, before. I had no idea that was Plummer Street. Oh, look at you. Very good. Plummer Street. It's the Plummer Street end. Named after Melbourne's very first plumber, I understand. Now... It's a 1-0 game. Courtney Perkins for the Sharks, and they lead it, heading toward the deep, dark depths of this first half. They'll be pretty chuffed, I reckon, if they can walk into the sheds with a 1-0 lead to Port Melbourne. They've gone 2-2-2 in their last half dozen games, so you want to find a vein of form. Salmon, there's a Salmon Street just down the road too, by the way, tried to squeeze it through the gap for Amadi Kamara, away by Port. Oh, he skidded and slipped, didn't he, Amachi? It was a tough one. Duggan launches it. Duggan full throttle into the penalty area, and he just tried to toe tap it for Courtney Perkins, who was lurking. This is a really good game, Adam. I'm glad I'm calling it with you. You're a great young man, a great caller. It's 1-0, 38 nearly away, and it's a corner to Port Melbourne, who are up by one and running on top of the ground right now, looking pretty happy about where they're going with this one.
Yeah, Mel's will take this corner. I do believe it's the first one of the evening for Port Melbourne at the Williamstown Road end. toward the near post, and that's a slightly curly one to deal with here for Gerard Tyson. Whistle does go eventually. Green Gully get the call here. Wow. The fumble and then the open chance maybe just to get a tap in for Port Melbourne. It goes begging in the ends, and now Green Gully look to counter. Mamadi Kamara just outside the area. 3 defenders to deal with. Still with Kamara. Eventually finds a way to cut back. Fletcher tries to find some space. Courtney Perkins, as I said, Blakey, doing it at both ends at the moment. Stern in defence there. That time was Jackson Courtney Perkins. Now Davies. Toward the back post, well over the head of Fletcher. Danger not averted yet for Port Melbourne. Finally booted away. Comes back to Green Gully now. Jego in 2 minds. Matthew Crooks. Maybe a bit of space here for Davies. That gets closed up relatively quickly. Some space now for T-Boy Kamara. Looking to find a way around Edwards. Ball was cut back, and a header was very, very easy to deal with in the end for Withers. He falls on top of the ball. And with 5.5 minutes remaining in regulation, it is a 1-0 lead for Port Melbourne. Jackson Courtney Perkins, your goal scorer, as called by Greg Blake in the 29th minute. And, well, brought to ground well after Duggan just brought down Jordan Hall. He's the man on a yellow card. Jordan Hall, I'm speaking of, and not getting up straight away. It was just a stranglehold almost there, Blake. He just ripped him to the ground. And a little slow to get up here, Jordan Hall. He was the man that tackled Amachi to the ground that set up that set piece earlier in this first half. You wonder if that was retaliation. Chris Duggan not getting a card for the indiscretion. In fact, not even a free kick. The Port Melbourne throw is going to take place here. So we enter the last couple of minutes of this first half. Port Melbourne looking to double their lead. Daniel Edwards looking for the long throw option. Didn't go that long in the end. Courtney Perkins. Ball still alive, and the corner has been conceded by Jordan Hall. Another corner coming up at that Williamstown road end. What was that road named after, Blakey?
Yes, that's a tremendous question, and thank you for putting me on the spot. I'll tell you now, look, these two teams right now in NPL in here in Victoria, 4-4-4, 4 wins each and a draw all time. So that's a nothing stat, and I've covered the fact that I didn't know what you were asking me into the hot spot of big rucker players, like a rugby maul. And finally hooked away by, guess who? Jeremy Walker. Oh, Lord. As the Sharks maybe looking to double their lead just before half-time. The fans are up. It's getting a bit vocal down here. It's good stuff. Kamara. It fakes outside, runs inside, tries to hit Salmon. Too short for him. And Sharks away. Long ball over the top. And Duggan, who started out like Ben Johnson and ended up just giving away the chase. It was always going to be too long for him. Is that dated, Ben Johnson? Does anybody even know him? We've played 42. Do you know Ben? Oh, dear. So it's going to be a Green Gully ball. They got the work to do. 1, to check back into the contest, and 2, to frank a W here tonight, but plenty of footy to come. Walker, right foot. Long into the night sky. Timmins headed down. Kamara, Timmins again. Timmins under pressure. Great pressure too. He has to reverse and take the percentage ball back for Walker, who goes straight away. Timmins walks outside. This is they're really up and eager right now. They're chasing the footy, the Sharks. Just like Sharks would do in the wild, Adam. If there were blood in the water, they'd be circling, wouldn't they? They'd be chasing. I don't know. I've never faced a shark in the water, and I never want to. And that was a wasted ball knocked upfield by the big fella. I am freezing officially now. I'm putting on my warm jacket at half time. I might steal yours too. Adam, 43 played. And Marchie with his back to goal. It goes skyward. Walker was the man with the pressure. It's going to be a Port ball. I suspect there won't be too much time added on for stoppage. It's been a beautifully rhythmic and continuous game. Kamara backs himself. Look at him. Bullet train quick then as he moved through midfield. Jay Davies. Oops, a daisy. The hook just skewed off his foot, but Crooks is heads up for it. He'll get the cannon off Duggan. It'll go out of play. And Green Gully, I reckon they want to launch one in the last minute 10 of this regulation in this first half. It's a 1-0 game. Port lead it. Jago to the top of the box. Salmon off for... into the danger zone. Right past Jago, the chest thereof. Right past a couple of Green Gully players. So that was a chance that really went begging, wasn't it? That looked... The build-up was good. And Jay Davies' cross was good. No one there to smack it away. Last 60 seconds of regulation.
What we're not seeing from Green Gully are clean looks at goal at the moment. Withers has been tested once or twice, but at times they just have not been able to get the clean look they need maybe to find the back of the net as Withers clears toward this near side. Walker will take the throw for Green Gully. All the way back to Gerard Tyson. Just looking at the fourth official to see how many minutes will be added on. Blakey, just the one. And that minute starts now. So, Timmins, Mamadi Kamara patrolling the left side. Davies, plenty of blue and red in front of him. Nowhere to go. Fletcher. Might get this back, Fletcher. That's a go in, try and retrieve it. Comes back to Mamadi Kamara. They found a way through here. Green Gully, maybe a chance. It comes out. T-Boy Kamara. That first touch a little too heavy. Just opened the door for Edwards. He turns it over. Crooks. Kamara. Ball intended for Crooks. Got cleared. Kamara again. Going back to Walker. They're running out of time here, Green Gully. Walker's ball into no man's land and easily collected by Withers. And Jack Gordon has seen enough for the first half here at JL Murphy Reserve. We'll take our break here. The opening match of round 12 in NPL Victoria. It is a 1-0 lead for Port Melbourne after a 29th minute goal by Jackson Courtney Perkins. 1-0 with Adam Sarikoglu and Greg Blake here at JL Murphy Reserve. 1-0 Port Melbourne and Green Gully back with the second half after this. Welcome back to JL Murphy Reserve here. It is round 12 action in NPL Victoria on the NPL Victoria Facebook and YouTube channels. My name's Adam Sarikoglu, joined by Greg Blake here on this rather chilly Friday night. 1-0 lead for Port Melbourne thanks to Jackson Courtney Perkins scoring in the 29th minute as the second half is underway. Port Melbourne attacking toward the Plummer Street end, and Green Gully will go left of screen. We're calling that the Williamstown Road end here this evening. Some very heavy contact there between Wellsmore and Timmins. And the free kick is going to go Port Melbourne's way to be taken by George Mells. And it has been a physical affair at times, Greg Blake, as I re-welcome you to the coverage in this second half. In fact, we'll just stay with this for the moment. Duggan now toward the near post. Can they score early here, Port Melbourne? Not quite. Duggan's ball back. Didn't find anyone in a blue and red shirt. Still maybe a chance here. Wellsmore trying to cut away around Walker. Goes wide. Edwards tries to fire away a shot. It's a corner. So a lively start to this second half. And as I was saying, Blakey, I was about to hand you the microphone. It's been a physical affair at times, hasn't it? We've seen some just flat-out tackling, and we saw it again there. A really physical affair tonight.
No, I like the way this second half starting, Adam. I reckon the tone was set then with Timmins, and I reckon the Sharkies have decided let's go out there early in the second half and put them away if we can. So the stage is set. 43 to come. Fingertip away by the goalkeeper. Referee calls it. There's one of those arbitrary sort of calls at the back. I don't like it. Timmins ambles toward a half field. Kamara, the ball out of play. Sharks will get it back. It is getting colder. I didn't take your jacket at half time, Adam, but I'll be after you when you're back in comms and you're defenceless. It's a 1-0 game. Port Melbourne lead it here at home on this Friday evening under lights. And right now they're equal with Hume, just outside the top six. So Green Gully got the work to do. Duggan. Oh, Duggan drives around Timmins, drives inside Walker, leaves the footy behind, and Walker can stab it clear. He looked electrifying for a minute, Duggan. 5 goals for the season for him. He's one of the guns of the competition. Don't worry about that. Green Gully ball. Free kick. My nose, I can't feel my nose on my fingertips now, Adam. It's starting to set in. And yet you wouldn't want to be anywhere else on this Friday night. As round 12 of the competition starts to reveal itself. Walker chips it. And Marchi couldn't draw it in. Davies, unsure, pivots. Davies again. Plays it adjacent to the half line. Crooks. Kamara. Spanish wheels in the mud. Didn't matter though. Took off. That was T-Boy. 1-0 Port Melbourne. Led it on 29 thanks to Courtney Perkins. T-Boy. Kamara again. Great defensive work. Still managed to get the cross in. Look for Kamara number 2. Salmon's there. Just rolls it wide for Crooks again. Powers his way deep into Port territory, but they hold their ground. Good stuff. Some Amachi now. Way too ambitious, way too hot, way too long, and goal has taken it the Plummer Street end, which was identified earlier on. Fletcher and Fletcher again. Kamara too long for him, and eager back for his goalkeeper. So a powerful burst to start the second half by Port, but now it's back into that sort of arm lock between these two sides. Not a lot between them in the ladder positions. And there's going to be a change. The ladder positions tell the story. They're not too far from each other on the ladder. They're certainly not too far from each other on the paddock this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. Change there.
Yeah, so Daniel Jones now replacing Jordan Hall. The first substitution of the evening here at JL Murphy Reserve. Green Gully find themselves down by a goal. Mamadi Kamara will not be chasing down that long ball from Jeremy Walker, and it's out for a goal kick. An important 3 points on offer, as we have mentioned. It is 8th v 9th on the table. Courtney Perkins out wide for Edwards, left foot ball. Amachi just fell over, but the ball was met anyway. Still a chance here for Port Melbourne. Mal's tries to cut back onto the left, but Jay Davies easily collects it for Green Gully. The ball now to Jago. Out wide. Kamara. It's T-Boy. Still a chance here. Jago. Had a couple of defenders to deal with. One of those being Eager. Quick ball toward the outer side. Does it find its way to Amachi? It does. Omar Amachi has Chris Duggan available. Might want to go solo though. Eventually gives it to Wellsmore. Evelyn Wellsmore. Amachi, second to the ball. An easy kill that time. And Jay Davies sends it wide for Mamadi Kamara. That last touch just a little too heavy. Opens up the door for Christian Bombachi. Now, that ball too heavy eventually for Duggan. Might have been offside anyway. And it was cleared away by Gerard Tyson. Might be looking at another substitution here. Right now, Green Gully through Kamara. T-Boy Kamara this time. Neat little ball. Salmon coming out. Withers did well. Withers. Ball bounced back toward him. A second substitution is coming up for the trailing Green Gully. And it's going to be Anthony Poliak who's going to come on. We know he can be a threat in attack as well. Crooks. Jago. Sends it wide. Now Davies. Jay Davies still over the top of the ball here for Green Gully. One way to the other, then back the first way, then eventually went wide. T-Boy Kamara. Now Davies again. They're being patient at the moment, Green Gully. Kamara. No space to work with. Looking to find a way past Edwards. It's very patient here from Green Gully at the moment, Blakey. Very, very patient. Now Jago comes unstuck. Can Port Melbourne launch the counter? Amachi did well to get rid of his first man. Ticked the first box, did Amachi. Duggan was asking for it out wide, but the pass didn't find its way through. Had plenty of space there, Chris Duggan. Something's happened after here. A yellow card shown, I think, to Amachi. If not, the card was shown instead. Maybe to Daniel Jones, I'm not sure. Maybe dissent was involved, Blakey. I'm not sure what the ref saw. Poliak is about to come on now for Green Gully. Haven't seen what the red number is just yet, but it looks like it's going to be Mamadi Kamara. So 2 early subs made in this second half for Green Gully. They find themselves down 1-0.
No, there's just a little bit of... I'm not sure that was a yellow card. The new player on the ground was Daniel Jones, and he and Amachi just exchanged a few words, a bit of push and shove, but they're big boys. It's a collision sport. There's 22 blokes out there. That's Kamara. That was a cynical foul, if you will. He was bored down as he charged past. Nothing, no bookings there, though. I'll tell you what, the tone's been set, though. There's a few blokes just getting there. I reckon they've swallowed a couple of the angry pills at half-time because they know it's a big second half for both of these teams on this Friday night. As we mentioned earlier on, Adam, some huge clashes to come in the next few weeks. All the top sides. Heidelberg's got 4 in a row against top 6 sides. Avondale and a couple of the others. They're all going to be playing head to head. So it's just the right time. Speaking of just the right time, it's all happening at the top of the penalty area. There's arm wrestling everywhere. Davies will bring the free kick in from a Fairly wicked angle. Right foot, far post, big leap by the substitute. Jago's there. Jones. Timmins, and look, I'm not sure, he was just trying to angle it back and lost his balance, so it's going to be a restart. For Withers at the bay end of the ground, be damn cold down there on Port Melbourne Beach tonight. It's a 1-0 game, the Sharks lead it. Port Melbourne, here's the interesting one for me, Adam, and I'm not an interesting person by nature, but Port have scored 8 goals in the last quarter hour of games this year, which is second only to Avondale. And the last few weeks, Green Gully have been having all sorts of histrionics in the last 15 minutes of games. As I mentioned earlier on, the double lead change against the Melbourne Knights, a come from behind against Dandenong City, and of course last week conceding 2 in the last 15 as Port manoeuvre forward. And I'll tell you what, Daniel Jones is out there creating a bit of a presence. He's a massive mountain of a man, and he's just keeping them a little bit honest right now. It's going to be a corner to the Sharkies. 11 played. Second half, they lead it by 1. Courtney Perkins with the only goal of the game. It's going to be a corner. Edwards down at the Plummer Street end. Oh, you're there. I didn't know where you were. Oh. Well, the skewed header. They reload the Sharks. That's a far post cross. Leaping after it was Reardon. Well, they're getting men forward. I'll tell you what, the Sharks want to. No, flag was up. He was about the length of the Moonee Valley straight offside then, wasn't he, Amarchi?
Moonee Valley straight or the Flemington straight? Moonee Valley, okay. Not as long as the Flemington one. So Edwards still heavily involved in this contest. Another little shove as the ball goes out of play. The throw to be taken by Davies. This is Jago back to Davies. Comes unstuck again though, Edwards. His ball was quick and not well thought through. Jones. Quick ball from Davies now to set up Polyak, who's got some space on this left side. Needed some help there, Polyak, and Timmins provided. Back to Polyak now. The low right foot ball. It's going to be easily dealt with by Archibald. Now cleared away by Reardon. Crooks regathering for Green Gully. Went past Kamara. There's a chance now. Salmon at the back post. It didn't quite manage to connect, but does eventually retrieve the ball. Salmon now sends one toward the back post. And has that taken a Port Melbourne touch? No, it's out for a goal kick. Stays 1-0 as we approach the hour mark here at Jack Edwards Reserve, as is often the case on that Williamstown roadside. A lost ball, and now we've got 2 on the field, in fact, as Withers quickly takes care of that. So Mel's out to Reardon. Mel's unable to find a way past Jago. Maybe a chance here for Green Gully. It's Salmon, Kamara, T-Boy, the only Kamara now out there as Mamadi Kamara was subbed off a couple of minutes ago. Davies. Offside flag goes up here. No problem for Withers in the end. So we hadn't seen any offsides, I think, at all, Blakey, in the first half. The flag's gone up a couple of times, one on each end of the pitch here in the second. The game just opening up a little bit as well. It was a bit scrappy in the first half. We're starting to see a bit more open play and a few more cleaner looks at goal, if you will.
You'd reckon these two sides would be really aware of this. I was just having a look. So you got this weekend, you've got Avondale, South Melbourne, you've got Hume, Heidelberg, Oakley, Hume, South Melbourne, Bentley Greens, Heidelberg against Avondale in the next couple of weeks. They know right now is the time to break back in. So it's on for young and old. Sorry, Adam.
Because it's taken away at the wrong moment there, Blakey. Apologies for that. Green Gully on the attack once more. It's Kamara. Can he find a way around Edwards? He can, but he can't find a way past Archibald. So another non-clean entry, a dirty entry, if you will, into the area. Salmon comes back out to Walker. Gets it back from Jago. Walker keeping it alive. Ball sent in by Timmins. Archibald with the clearance for Port Melbourne. This throw is going to go Port Melbourne's way. No substitutions yet from Adam Pittock. He's up on his feet as we speak. And as I say that, perhaps maybe the first substitution is coming up now for Port Melbourne, as we have passed the hour mark. 2/3 of the way through. Right now, all 3 points going to the home team. The bouncing ball dealt with aerially by Walker. Davies back to Walker. Here's Davies again. Saw a green and white shirt out of the corner of his eye. That was Crooks, and now Kamara. It's T-Boy Kamara. Again, finds his way past his first direct opponent. The pass, though, not quite connecting the way he would have liked. Another heavy challenge, and Jack Gordon said play on initially. Edwards goes down. Now the free kick coming for Port Melbourne.
Daniel Jones has come onto the paddock, and he is he's messing with the Sharks right now. He's coming. He's just getting in their heads a little bit. Some big, strong, bold, robust stuff from the substitute Daniel Jones, and a few Sharks will just be jumping at shadows, I reckon, when he's about to play. So it's going to be a change for Port Melbourne. And that's their first of the game, Adam. Is that fair? I think it is. So it's going to be a Port Melbourne ball coming from left lane, about 10 metres inside their own half. Long loft. Duggan couldn't control it. Sprayed, angled outside by Jay Davies for Jago. He just didn't control the foot as he might have liked. There's a cannon out of play. It's going to be Green Gully ball taken quickly by Timmins. Big lanky Timmins puts it at the feet of Jago. Pressure comes. Davies looks up, swivels through traffic. Well done. Timmins down the line, squeezes it for the runner. Polyak, the substitute. Polyak tried to spin it off the outside of his right, and his second effort is off the mark. They'll clear it. Poor Melbourne, they lead by one. Kamara, T-Boy. You reckon he can just produce something? A moment perhaps. Kamara drops it into that near post and falling on the hand grenade was Withers. He was happy to get that onto his chest, and he just clutched it for dear life. We've played 18, and this second half is whipping up into a bit of a thunderstorm. Not literally, thankfully. It's a ripping game. The stakes are big right now. One of these two teams will end tonight in or around the top six. And well back in the chase. Timmins angled it first time. Polyak drives. Wellsmore goes with him. Matches steps. Good launch. All Sharks back there though. Duggan doing his work deep. He backed himself. And he will get scragged and scruffed by Edwards. And that was, well, you knew that he was going to motor away. He's locomotive strong and very, very quick was Duggan. And there was no way that Edwards was going to let him pass without some degree of harassment. Sharks up by one. It is game on. The rev counter is peaking once again down at Shark Park on this Friday night under lights. Round 12, the NPL in Victoria, the best NPL in the country by, well, a country mile, if you will. Sharks leading, but it's tenuous based on the run of play. The playing card between the two of them. Duggan with the steal. Duggan on his left. Duggan draws it back and went whizzing over the woodwork. The top scorer for Port Melbourne. He could have given it a 2-goal buffer, but this game has ramped up significantly. We're 20 minutes away, and Adam, this is an absolute rip snorter, a barn burner.
It is a rip snorter. Greg Blake. Just tick that box. You and I had a private conversation about that. Withers, look out. This one's coming our way. Almost got a touch there, did Greg Blake. So the throw to be taken by Sean Timmins. Taking his time. Eventually it was Alex Salmon presenting. Working in tight quarters here, Green Gully. Fighting hard to keep this alive is Timmins. Collided with the Marchie. Here's Mells with the counter-attack for Port Melbourne. Out to the new man out there. This is Lathan Dunn in the 22 shirt. Gets pushed over. Referee says nothing to see here. And Green Gully come away with it. So the new man out there in the 22 shirt is Lathan Dunn for Port Melbourne. Getting his first meaningful possession since coming on. Right now, it's Kamara. T-Boy Kamara not finding a way past Reardon. Ball's popped up in the air. He's done again with the fresh legs. Duggan takes some contact from Jones. And a cheap free kick given away. Approaching the halfway mark of the second half here at JL Murphy Reserve. 1-0 lead for Port Melbourne if you're just tuning in. Jackson Courtney Perkins, your goal scorer in the 29th minute. One of 2 games in NPL Victoria this evening. It's a quiet Friday night compared to some of the Friday nights we've had where we've had multiple up to 5-6 games on a Friday night at times. Jeremy Walker is down behind play. Duggan kept on going. When will the referee stop play here? Walker is still down and not moving for the time being. And play very close to him. Finally, it's taken out by Sean Timmins. And Jeremy Walker, the Green Gully skipper, can get some attention near the 2 benches. Didn't actually see what happened there, Greg Blake. And certainly Jack Gordon, the referee, didn't see much either. And so the players get a breather of what's been a high-intensity second half so far. As I said, it feels like it's a bit more flowy at the moment. Certainly still a very physical affair. We're keeping an eye on Jeremy Walker here as we speak. He might have just copped a nasty gash somewhere in his face. And the trainer attending to him as we speak. So Walker's going to come off for the time being.
I'll just say, you know that there's something with Walker because he's the captain, he's an inspiration. You wouldn't want him, you don't want to go down to 10 and have this bloke off the paddock, so it'll be really, no, he's going back on. So that's good news for Gully. They're down by 1.
So play resumes now. Gerard Tyson. Polyak underneath this one in battle against Bombachi. Eager. That's a bad little touch there by Jones. And now a chance here for Amachi. Came unstuck. Duggan does like this sort of range, but he's got 2 men to deal with on this occasion. Duggan kept it in toward the back post, but straight into the arms of the waiting Gerard Tyson. Chance goes begging for Port Melbourne to double their lead. So Polyak now. One of the early second half substitutions by Stephen Downs. Davies. Timmins. Polyak wanted to go one way, but it didn't quite work out for him. It was an easy kill that time for Bombachi. Now Lathan Dunn goes down and Jay Davies receives a yellow card for his troubles.
It is getting really willing. And I tell you what, the two players I'm looking at right now, Dunn, who's just come into Will of the Wisp, his big leap at the far post before, he was like a shot out of a cannon. And the other substitute for Green Gully, the number 21, Polyak, who's prepared to run and back himself. Now, if there's going to be an X factor in this one, is it one of the those two substitutes? It's all happening. We've played now 25, and the Shark fans are up, and in fine voices, Duggan gets the switch, has to go second opportunity. The physical confrontation was interesting. How to play, and it's going to be a goalkeeper's ball at the Plummer Street end in a 1-0 game. It's still poised. Don't worry about that. So, might be just the opportune moment. We're heading toward the downhill slope on a roller coaster. So go and grab your snacks now. I reckon we've got 20 minutes of excitement to come here. Goalkeeper's ball done. He's been running himself ragged since he's come on. Doesn't matter though. Jigo for Green Gully. Crook. That'll be turned over. Done again. Lightly framed, but he's been busy. And Marchie back to goal. Tries to squeeze it down the line. The slide comes in from Crook, who did really well then. And that's how to play again. So time now, in fact, 19 minutes of regulation to come in a 1-0 game. And don't worry about the scoreboard. It's been a ripping struggle, and it's just kind of building up towards a hectic finish. Unless Port can really put some distance on the scoreboard as they move forward again. Eager. We're going to measure it. Swept on by Polyak. That's the bloke I was talking about. Skips past the tackle, Polyak. He's got men running outside and inside. Kamara. Well, the back heel was cheeky and opportune, but there was no one on the end of it. So Port will come away. They still lead by 1. They're still the team in the ascendancy in terms of the ladder position. Now they leapfrog Green Gully if their score stays the same. I don't know. I just think that the rhythm of this game is stepping up again and again and again. And it looks like the Port Melbourne are going to go to the bench as well. I'll defer to you, Adam, because I'm just about to lose all my paperwork for a second.
All right, you regather yourself there. So Omar Amachi is going to make way for John Kuwal. He scored the equaliser last week for Port Melbourne in that 1-1 draw at Paisley Park against Altona Magic, and he comes on now, Kuwal. Amachi's night is over. 17 minutes left in regulation. And a 1-0 lead being held onto here by Port Melbourne. Mells. Comes back to Mells. Quick ball intended for Dunn. Has some help there. Kuwal instantly getting involved here. We know how much of a threat he can be. Gets himself tangled up with the defender. Kuwal again. Can he find some help? Not on this occasion. Jeremy Walker. Stern in defence as always. Kamara. Ball's turns over. Courtney Perkins just a little dink on him there, and it goes out of play. Final change for Green Gully being readied by the 4th official. Green Gully ball. Here's Polyak. Neat little touch there for Timmins. Following him all the way through, though, Wellsmore. Polyak back to Davies. Now Timmins. Shallow little ball in. The corner's given away by Michael Eager. Now a look at a corner for Green Gully. Here in the 75th minute. It's Davies who will send this ball in. Toward the back post, a heavy ball. It was met initially for Port Melbourne by Ross Archibald. Throw to be taken now by Courtney Perkins, the only goal scorer in this game. Dunn getting involved again, the new man out there for Port Melbourne. Here's Davies. Neat little touch there by Fletcher. Withers. We'll set up a new attack here for Port Melbourne.
I'll tell you what, it was nearly nearly an ugly turnover was on, but Sharks will work it away. Long ball over the top, QL flags up, won't count, and the lime green suited Jared Tyson will give it to his skipper for the free kick. So it's, I know you mentioned earlier Dandenong City, they've got the Dandenong double, both of these sides. One's Dandenong City, that's Port Melbourne, and of course Green Gully hosts Thunder next week. Gee, this season's been electrifying, engaging, the NPL in Victoria. And this game is very much alive at Shark Park on a Friday night. We're cold up here, but the heat's on down there on the paddock. Timmins clearing with the header. Fletcher was robbed at the very last gasp. It's Timmins. He trundles up to take it. Angled inside Salmon. Salmon had a good look at it, didn't he? And he sort of rifled the right footer in. And the goalkeeper in the end with us, he had to make a solid take. Time check, 32 and a half away, second half. It's a 1-0 game. Duggan, cheeky, toe poke, down the line. Duggan again. Oh, he's just bodied off the football, but Dunn pivots and shoots and scores. Magnificent stuff. It was like the Tassie Devil, pivoted on the spot, picked his spot, and the right foot was clean and clear and crisp inside the post, and I reckon the Sharkies may go on to win this one. It's 2-0. They'll be thrilled to bits right now. He's had a presence already, the little number 22, since he's come on the paddock. I'll tell you what, that wasn't a bad finish.
Wow. Nathan Dunn, the new man, making an instant impression. And it's 2-0 for Port Melbourne. In the 78th minute, they double their lead. And the small pocket of active support up and about now for Port Melbourne as well. Nathan Dunn doubles the lead for the Sharks. And now time becomes the issue as well for Green Gully. They've got to score twice in 12 minutes of regulation just to salvage a point. Bombachi. Now Courtney Perkins, no longer the only goal scorer on the pitch. Withers. Here's Duggan. A great first touch, although he's still fighting for it, Duggan. Timmins eventually wins that bout. Ball was overrun there by Salmon. He's done again. Can't find a way through to Duggan on this occasion. Some work to do for Wellsmore. Can't find a way past eventually. Jeremy Walker there for Green Gully. Davies didn't see the pressure coming. Poliak. Was he brought to ground there by Duggan? The free kick is going to go Port Melbourne's way. And Anthony Poliak a little confused by that Port Melbourne ball. All of the ascendancy with the home team at the moment. It's George Mells. Easily collected this time by Tyson. Salmon. First time ball for Kamara is good. Poliak was waiting in the area, but Kamara couldn't find an opportunity to send it in there. This is Jones on the last line of defence for Green Gully. Quick ball for Jego. Runs into Wellsmore, goes down, and wins the free kick for Green Gully. With 10 or so minutes remaining in regulation, Greg Blake.
Well, look, I don't want to say I said so, but I thought earlier on Dunn had a presence and he's nailed the second goal, and I tell you what, that was just a little bit too long. But, wow. Well, the Sharks are making a statement, aren't they, here? In a game that's really cutthroat, but it puts them way back into the frame for the finals. They move up with Hume. I think they move to 8th on the ladder at the moment. And it's mentioned before, all the big guns start whacking away in the next few weeks. It's like WWE, you know, the big old smackdown with all the big guns going out there. And it's a perfect opportunity for Port Melbourne to manoeuvre their way back into contention for the big dance at the end of the year. They're up by 2. Walker runs around Dunn that time, goes straight up Route 1. Salmon, they probably have to. Now Kamara's going to try and track it down. Kamara's got some pace and he comes in, he blindsides his opponent, and according to the referee, he infringed. So a lovely moment. He's a terrific player, Kamara. You reckon he's just got that touch about him that at any given time he can change the course of a game. But if a game course has to be changed, it's probably right here, right now, tonight, down at Shark Park, because they're down by 2, and Gully going to go to the Pine again with 8 to play. Fletcher, no, it's not Fletcher. Fletcher was trundling off, but it's not going to be him. It's going to be T-Boy Kamara, is it? No? Who in the heck are they bringing out? We didn't get a look at the board. It's going to be Nick Georgopoulos. Nick Georgopoulos will get the responsibility of perhaps changing the course of the last 7.5 minutes, and it needs changing right now. Gully are down by 2. Courtney Perkins with the match opener on 29, and Dunn, the substitute, not too long back. And that's the way it is as we head into the deep, dark depths of this round 12 game on a chilly Friday night. It's around about 9 degrees now. We started at 12. It's gone down to 9. And the flag will go up, because that, my friend Adam, would be Flemington Straight, not Moonee Valley Straight. Oh, dear. 38 played. And as Green Gully got, well, as I mentioned earlier on, they came from behind against Dandenong City a couple of weeks back. They played out that thriller against the Melbourne Knights in 2-2, and then last week conceding goals. So the last 15 minutes have been interesting for Green Gully in recent weeks, and you'd want to hope that they can perhaps make it more of the same tonight, except in their favour. Is there a twist in the tale, a chapter to be written, or have Port franked a big fat W and 3 big points? Dunn again. He's very quick. He is lightning quick, the number 22. Gully move it quickly but awkwardly, eager for Port Melbourne. Change of direction is swift and sure. Dunn again, he's in everything. Well, hang on to the football. Bit of party time. Long one down for Elmsville. Elegant. Goes far post. Kowal will have to chase it down. Back to goal. Losing meterage all the time. Kowal keeps it on the deck. Swept away by Jago, but still not outside of Port's attacking half. A 2-0 advantage into the last 5 minutes. Duggan, top scorer, not on the board tonight. Doesn't matter, it's a big team victory for Port. The Green Gully got a squeak in him. Because time, the sands of time right now are rapidly running out for Green Gully. Davies back for Walker, the outside man. Timmins. Fletcher sets off, full head of steam. Fletcher through the gap. Jago tried to return the favour, pummeled away. Sharks happy to just get the yellow alert clearance. Green Gully have to recalibrate and come again. 4.5 to play in this round 12 clash to start Friday night. On this Friday night, I should say. Man, that was wasteful. It's just going to spill and bounce and roll out of play, and not with a bang, but with a whimper. Green Gully may walk away from this one feeling pretty disappointed. They looked, for all the world, like two teams, I would have thought, Adam, who are very, very close to each other, certainly in terms of talent on the paddock and the way the game's been played. But right now, this 2-0 defeat's going to sting, it's going to hurt, and it might cost them in the run into the finals as we head into the last 4 minutes.
Now you are in that logjam in the middle of the table, playing against the side in a similar position. These games, these 3 points are so important. Right now, they belong to Port Melbourne. With 3.5 minutes left in regulation. The throw to be taken by Bombashi. To a highly congested area. Little touch there by Wellsmore. Georgopoulos getting involved. Former Pascoe Vale man, of course. Which way is the throw going here? It's going Port Melbourne's. Chris Duggan wins the throw here for Port Melbourne. I think you're right, Blakey. This one's just starting to peter out a little bit now. It's been on Port Melbourne's terms for so much of this second half. Wellsmore goes down in the area. A yellow card is shown to Timmins, and it's going to be a free kick for the Sharks. A set piece coming up. Haven't seen too much from the set piece front this evening, Blakey. We'll see if they can just add some polish, maybe a cherry on top on that scoreboard for Port Melbourne. It's well and truly on their terms now. A couple of minutes remaining. So the set piece now. And it's going to be George Mells. Nick Georgopoulos, the only man standing in front of Mells. He went the short ball. Maybe caught Green Gully out there, and Duggan unable to fire away a shot in the end. The whistle had blown. A free kick going Green Gully's way. Tyson quickly sends it as far and long as he possibly can for Davies. Reardon did well. Georgopoulos going wide for Poliak. He's moved over to that right side. Poliak gets the right football, looking for Salmon. Was waiting down for it. Bombachi clearing away for Port Melbourne. Now Courtney Perkins down the line for Kuol. Didn't get a kind bounce. Little tug of the shirt maybe there. Referee said play on. Georgopoulos, Salmon. Ball's flicked back to Timmins. Fletcher. Georgopoulos. Plenty of Sharks around him and got gobbled up on that occasion. Now Kuol on this right side. Going for a dash late on this Friday night. Final minute of regulation now. Kuol onto the left peg. He went. Still a chance here for Port Melbourne. No, not on this occasion. Mel's not getting anywhere near that ball. Quickly taken away by Jago. Fletcher. Salmon. Had Fletcher available on his left toward the corner flag. We go. First time ball back to Salmon. That's not a great touch. It's out for a goal kick. It almost sums up Green Gully's night in a couple of ways. We're going to have 3 additional minutes, Greg Blake, at the ends of this one. Is that enough time for Green Gully to strike twice? You would think not. We're going to see a final substitution from Port Melbourne, mind you. Luke Barfarosh is going to come on. 3 minutes now of added time to end this one. A JL Murphy reserve. Duggan's ball. Dealt with by Jones. Bombachi wanted to leave that one for Withers. It wasn't an easy one for Withers. And he clears that one into the practice pitches behind us, Greg Blake.
Oh, well, look, I wouldn't discount anything. The way this NPL season's been, we've still got about 120 seconds. Can Green Gully conjure a minor miracle? Crooks, Walker, eager away, the 2 skippers. Walker again. Well, he was cheeky, but Port will come up with it. Green Gully got to work out who they are. There's only 1 win in their last 6 games. They look very, very good at times, and haven't looked bad tonight, but the result's not going anywhere, Duggan. And they will just hang on to the footy. Port Melbourne, they're on the cusp of a very, very, very nice victory to start round 12. Kuol flag up. And as you mentioned, the Sharks will make one more change. Barfarosh will check into the contest for Port Melbourne. They will be happy. I'll tell you what, right now, they will be enjoying this one tonight. When the final whistle goes, I reckon about 60 seconds tops to go. Barfarosh has got that amount of time to make an impression on the game. But talk about impression on the game. Leighton Dunn, the number 22 for Port Melbourne. What a change he made for them. It was a 1-0 game. Courtney Perkins got the match opener on 29. And Dunn got the goal that has, you reckon, just about put Green Gully away. Or deep into stoppage time. Walker, laser-like look upfield. Barfarosh first touch is a powerful header. Timmins stabs it back for his goalkeeper at the Plummer Street end. I can say that with some degree of authority now. Walker spears it through the night sky, goes long, it skids, it bounces, it hops, and it rolls out of play at that bay end. It's a Gully ball. This has got to be, I reckon, just about the last play of the game, Adam. It's been a really, really nice win for Port in a really highly competitive game.
Jay Davies will take this corner. It's all academic now, unfortunately, though, for Green Gully. Mel's just sending the ball wherever he could, really. Green Gully throw. The urgency's still there for the men in green and white. Jeremy Walker, everyone's up now. Well over the head, that time though of Jones. And we're going to get another late corner here. So Jay Davies will scurry across again. Can they get a late consolation prize? It won't come with any points, of course, but a slight improvement on the goal difference front. Fletcher went up. Georgopoulos now staying down. Trying to work on Mel's here is Georgopoulos. Needs some help. That's provided by Jego. The long ranger did force a nice jump there from Withers. That's the final whistle. And Port Melbourne claim the 3 points here at JL Murphy Reserve. It was Jackson Courtney Perkins in the 29th minute. And then Leighton Dunn out of nowhere in the 78th to make it a 2-0 win for the Port Melbourne Sharks. It's been a great night here. Greg Blake, it's been a pleasure. First time I've called with you here in NPL Victoria. And a good night of football here.
Adam, it's lovely to work with you, my friend. Lovely to see the Sharks get over at home. Green Gully got some work to do. Got to get their get their thinking right. But you are a good man, Adam. Thanks for the call tonight.
Thank you, Blakey. It's been a pleasure. We thank you for joining us as well, no matter whichever way you did catch us for this game this evening. It's a 2-0 win for Port Melbourne here in round 12 against Green Gully.